We are out of hibernation into activity. Welcome to the latest update in the London Bitcoin Bank project. We've been in hibernation. The project has had a downturn with Bitcoin. It went down and we had great difficulty. And the London Bitcoin Bank project couldn't continue. So we had to put the project into hibernation, and that basically meant that the project didn't have activity. We couldn't move it forward. So we put the project into hibernation. But fast forward from about 2014 and today, 2016 in September, and what we've got is Bitcoin's had a lot of changes, and the London Bitcoin Bank has been listening to members of the London Bitcoin Bank project, and it was time to move the project forward again. And so this video is about out of hibernation into activity, and a little look on the future of the London Bitcoin Bank project. There will be additional videos that will speak about the progress that we hope to make and the different ways we're going to go about it, and test different things to make sure the London Bitcoin Bank project can bring forward financial unplugging for the future of humanity. Okay, so we're out of hibernation into activity. What does that mean? That means that we've sold the devices. It means we've purchased a new device. So LBTC grid will be moving forward again. Look, it says, I don't know if you can see it properly, it's a bit blurred, but you can see grid seed. I don't know whether they're called these devices grid seed after LBTC grid, because we want to get this out all around the world. Now, we've not connected with the manufacturer of this device, but it's just aptly called grid seed, which is fitting with LBTC grid. I don't know if anyone as part of this company knew about the London Bitcoin Bank project and LBTC grid, which constitutes our network of the financial unplugging and what we want to move forward. Okay, so let's just have a recap, because it's been a lot of things that's happened in the London Bitcoin Bank project. If you've seen the videos, we got a couple of different videos, one looking at our future aims of the London Bitcoin Bank project, and the view of financial unplugging, which is the aim to allow humanity to be financially unplugged with devices such as this. Okay, so in 2013 we went from nothing to something. We built up 400 LBTC contractors, GPU contractors, and we had a lot of people mining, getting paid and mining, and we managed to purchase 2 devices, the block eruptors, the original block eruptors. Then the company purchased the device, which took us up to 3, and I personally purchased the device, which took it up to 4, and we used it all together to be able to mine, which gave everyone a boost who was participating. If you remember, we had the all list, the financial unplugging list, the people who moved forward and didn't have to mine. And this was the process, and we had a few more. We have to try and find those details because the website has gone down. I didn't see no point in us keeping the domain alive if we didn't know how long until we can put the project back in activity. Okay, so everyone mined. We managed to get 4 devices. We mined, they gave boosts, and then after that, as Bitcoin went down, we moved into another phase, which was with Litecoin. We had a lower amount of participants, I remember Boris Zaga, he was the first person to be financially unplugged after the LBTC Council looked at his mining and his case and decided he was the best person to be unplugged at that time. I believe we had maybe two people more who's been financially unplugged, but I do not know. Again, we need to get access to all of that information, which will happen when we got the new domain and we can move all the files over. Okay, so we done that. We was in Litecoin, and then after that, the block eruptors produced less and less. And in our last tests, they were producing like 1 cent every 3-4 days. It just was not practical to, you know, give the kind of administration that it needs. I understand that, you know, during 2013, I would do payments for the teams, and the calculations would be, you know, I'd have to spend hours just to calculate someone's 3 cents or someone's dollar or something like that. And it was such a huge task. I'm sure everyone understands if a device is producing 3 cents every 3 days or so, then it's not really worth thinking that. But what was found was it was a good thing, it was a good time to sell those devices. So what we've done is we sold those devices, which has enabled us to move up to the grid seed blade. Okay, so this is a slightly different, it's not really a Bitcoin miner, it's a Litecoin miner, script miner, and with looking at what was the options and the long-term benefits of the London Bitcoin Bank project, this was the route we went through. And it is a good way we've gone with this because it means the project can continue on and on again. We don't know for how long and how it will be, but it is a moving forward with this device. So congratulations to everyone, because nothing to something, we've moved there. And also this shows the commitment of me, Kozan Hussein, chief cornerstone of the London Bitcoin Bank project, and our aim with making sure the tri-million company can continue on and on and on, and we can constantly allow a part of our focus to make sure that our continuing allows the London Bitcoin Bank project to go forward, not just a few months as, you know, like what we had, oh, we run and then it stopped on 2014. No, we're back in 2016, moving the project forward from where we left off, exactly with everyone who participated. Okay, so that's the recap. Coming to 2016, from July, I believe it was, I've got the milestone sheet, and that will be placed on the new domain or somewhere soon as we've managed to get that domain. That's quite an interesting way we're going to get this domain, and stay tuned as we go into this. I know this is a short video. We're going to have more videos that goes into different aspects. Again, there's a lot of experimentation to happen, and this is a very important point in the London Bitcoin Bank project, because right now GPU teams can't continue. Obviously, difficulty is high on a lot of coins, on Bitcoin and others. Like, for example, GPU teams couldn't even participate in Bitcoin because of the high difficulty and the ASICs out there, which are very powerful. Okay, so about the LBTC project, I've kind of explained a bit about it. Our future aim is to find a way and to provide humanity with financial unplugging. And there is a difference between full financial unplugging, which means that it meets your country's national income levels. That's our aim in the project. And financial unplugging, which without the fully financially unplugged, means that it's whatever is possible with like what the equipment we've got. So that's the yardstick, that's the aim we have between being able to move from some form of something happening, kind of like CERN. You know, I know some people think that why are we concentrating on this project? It's so small, but there's CERN out there, whichever direction it's in, and it spends millions and millions of dollars on electric to blast particles all around Switzerland, to smash in together to make hardly anything. Yeah, so you know they've got an important task. We've got an important task. We're looking for financial unplugging for humanity because the slavery is rubbish. You know, there is a better world out there, and you know, just as the dishwasher has helped women to stop needing to have to stand there and wash dishes, and the iRobot, the small vacuum cleaner that goes around, buzzes around and cleans it everywhere by itself. This is the future that we want to help humanity to get to. Okay, so that's LBTC. You know, it's quite an amazing project, a 1,000-year project. We don't know how far we can go, but whatever we do is a very important milestone. Okay, so the next step is Pathway. This is the initial starting of the London Bitcoin Bank project, and it's very important to consider this point. Yeah, we have been in hibernation. The project's silent, but it's not finished. You know, it's waiting for the right time to be able to start again. In 2013, it was a very different world. You know, you had governments trying to pull down Bitcoin. You had companies, credit card companies, banks. You know, all these people felt threatened by Bitcoin, not realizing the benefits it brings to whole of humanity. Yeah, and they would try and downgrade it. I've had things happen to me even. You know, people finding my address, putting it online, sending me a pizza, an utter piss take. Yeah, and it is concerning that these, you know, organizations which are meant to represent people have done such things. But we've pushed through. You know, we wrote to the UK Treasury and we supplied information about Bitcoin, important information, why we need this technology, why humanity needs this technology. For example, email. Email could be said the same thing, you know, we're going to it's going to allow anyone to email anyone in the world. It's such a dangerous technology. But no, today, just like GPS and other technologies, it is a better thing for humanity to have these technologies. It allows us to move forward in progress as a human being, and that is very important to us and everyone who's participated in this project. And I want to give thanks to the 400 people. I know not everyone participated. Some people joined. I've got a GPU and didn't do anything, and some people, you know, done negative things to the project, and it's all remembered. Yeah, everyone who participated, the future of the project is thinking about you, and then from that extension, the rest of humanity. Okay, so it was in a bad situation, Bitcoin, but we pushed through, and I'm sure many others pushed through as well, showing this is important. And I'm glad to say the United Kingdom is possibly one of the greatest places today to start a Bitcoin business, because you know, we're understanding the importance of this technology. And I hope anyone in any other country, whatever entity you are, whether positive or negative, I hope you have a look at the positive side of Bitcoin and understand for your own people, especially in Africa. I've heard that there's some countries who's trying to push off Bitcoin. Listen, your people need it. You don't need to be a third world country anymore. Yeah, you can start allowing your people to use Bitcoin, and your country will be richer. And it's all there. Yeah. So you know, if your governments are corrupt, it will come to light. You know, and maybe that's why some places are scared. But for humanity, for everyone, yeah, as a human being, everyone needs this technology just like they need email, yeah. Just as we need aeroplanes, just as we need, the mail services to get our messages from here to there, or you know, there's certain things that humanity needs to be able to progress, and Bitcoin is one of them. Okay, so today, moving forward, Bitcoin is in a better place. We hear that banks such as Santander, I believe, is allowing its employees to be able to, when they want to transfer funds from one location to, I don't know, family abroad, what they do is they said they're doing a test with Bitcoin, using Bitcoin to do that. And that is fantastic, and the thing, I believe it was the Bank of England, or yeah, it must have been the Bank of England, UK Treasury, and all of that. They found that blockchain, the technology behind Bitcoin, is important, and I hope that with everyone that you invest in the technology of Bitcoin, have a look at it and see how we can work with it. It's still a new technology. Bitcoin started in, the internet started in 1969. Yeah, and it took pretty much, 35 years before humanity even heard about this, yeah, about the internet. And we're still exploring the internet. It's starting to mature, and it's required a lot of time. And Bitcoin is pretty much there. It's still a baby technology, yeah, and it's gaining traction. So we find ourselves in 2016 in a slightly better place. We found the issues with eBay, yeah, eBay letting people fraudulently purchase bitcoins and services and all of that, and then claim the money back, and then go to the seller and try and get the money back, as they did to me. Okay, so those things are settled. Things have settled, things have improved. Yeah, and Bitcoin is coming up again. So it was an opportunistic time to sell the block eruptors and then reinvest into another technology, which is the higher ASIC. Now, the how we're moving in is, this is not a Bitcoin miner. This is a script Litecoin miner, and I don't suggest everyone go out and buy it. Yeah, as some people negatively done in the London Bitcoin Bank project, and difficulty in Bitcoin is messed, because what you don't realize is that there's two sides to Bitcoin, or any kind of mining in the new world, and that is a process of trying to get more, trying to build up, trying to become rich. And what ends up happening with that is something you don't realize, and that is that if there's one device, it's producing a certain amount of mining. And if you get two devices, it's producing half. Everyone's getting half. So if you get four, then everyone's getting a quarter. You see, and this is what people don't realize. And people out there are being the selfish way and trying to get more and more miners. Yeah, and it just defeats the purpose. ASIC manufacturers take note. Every time you release a new ASIC, you're causing a problem to the people before. This isn't computers, it doesn't work like computers. This is different, yeah? So it requires a different level of thinking. Okay, so these devices are script devices, yeah? This mines at 5.2 million hashes a second to 6 million hashes a second. And some people might say, wait a minute, that's a bit too low, considering that the small block eruptors was 336 million hashes each. Script miners or script mining is usually 1,000 times less speed than Bitcoin, because it has a memory factor. Okay, so we decided to go with this because it looks more opportunistic for the long-term view of the London Bitcoin Bank project. Okay, so moving in to this next stage, moving out of hibernation into activity. As I explained, one of the processes was the sale of the miners, and the next was upgrading to this device. So what's going to happen is moving in, we've already done a test with Florin coin, and we chose this coin because it's got transactional messaging. Now, this has an important point because um, we've got a lot of transparency in the London Bitcoin Bank. You know, if whoever participates has information, everyone has that information, it's accessible. And what we want to do is, in light with the domain going down and being able to have some form of, ongoing transaction or some form of, it's a sticky situation, it's stuck. And the blockchain is a fantastic way to do that, because as long as Florin coin continues into the future, we can always return, look at that address and see the transactional messages, which essentially will be used as a log. Something to keep in mind with this next bit is that this bit that we're calling pathway for a minute. And that is, the first one is communication, being able to log down certain information that we need to store in the blockchain, and such as payments, and maybe milestone sheets and any activity. Though usually we have in the past used Twitter for that, and also our Facebook account, which is both alive still and may turn into some kind of essential points, kind of like super nodes, where if one part goes down, we've got these other parts to continue the projects. Okay, so the first part of Pathway is the messaging system, and we've done a small mining segment, and we've built up some Florin coins, and we're gonna experiment to be able to make a transactional messaging, so that we can update it and always have a log of that information. Very important stuff. Okay, so we didn't use Ethereum, another new coin out there for this process, which allows smart contracts, because all we're looking for is a messaging type of solution. Yeah, Ethereum has its own benefits, and we may use that, for example, to be able to do smart contracts with everyone who's been part of LBTC, all of the GPU teams. And that will allow us to have a clear identification of, okay, you're this person, that's your thing. If you wanted to pass it on to your family in the future or whatever it is, then that would allow that. Okay, so the first part of Pathway is messaging. The next part of it is to be able to buy the domain, so we can get our site back up. So these are the first two steps of LBTC Grid going out of hibernation into activity. Okay, so once we're in activity, then what will happen is, and now it's time to look at the existing LBTC GPU contractors. So what will happen is that after we've managed to get the domain, we will move into mining segments again. There will be a process called electric factor. As these miners, unlike the block eruptors, which hardly used any electricity, these do use quite a bit of electricity. So something we'll be implementing is electric factor, which looks at being able to cover the costs of the electric for these devices. And it's always, looking at the statistics right now, the electric cost is above what it produces, and in Bitcoin it's even more. It's such a negative level. So one of the things which we want to factor in this process is to be able to have electric factor which covers electric costs, and also to have the profitability, to be able to make payouts and profit for the company as well. So these are essential factors that this process will be looking at. What we likely will have to move to is a quarterly payment. So every 3 months we will make payments, and we want to move it back to monthly. But again, it's gonna require experimentation going forward to find what exactly works. As you know, Bitcoin constantly changes, the technologies constantly changes, there's new things happening, and it's by that the project continuously changes. I will be investing some time into this process, but you know, I can't invest the kind of time I did in 2013, but we will be progressing the project forward. Okay, so new members. I'm sure some of you want to join the London Bitcoin Bank. You don't want to just go out there and get more and more miners, cause more of the problems, and never reach enlightenment. Okay, so new members, we're not accepting new members just yet because we haven't got a way for LBTC grid contractors to mine at the minute, because it would be highly ineffective. You know, this device here is, you know, it is like, I don't know the actual figures, but it's very likely that this would do what 10 to 20,000 computer processors would do, single core processors would do. You see, so this does account for a big proportion of mining, and you know, for us to try and get that kind of amount of people would require a lot of effort, and it wouldn't be productive for anyone. So these devices are equivalent maybe to, you know, 20, 30 GPUs, maybe even more. It might be even several hundred, depending what kind of GPU you're looking at. So in whatever case, the process of the London Bitcoin Bank has worked. You know, the miners mined, managed to get the devices, and we've managed to move forward at the right time, which has allowed us to upgrade to the next level. As you know, mining can take several steps. Either CPU mining, which is very ineffective in today's world, and then after CPU mining, you've got the GPU to mine with, which pretty much was the London Bitcoin Bank project contractors. And then after that, the small block eruptor types, where you just plug it into your USB port and away you go. And then moving on to devices like these, the blades, and then it goes on to the more bigger devices, which is you know, multiples of these devices kind of. Okay, so we've got the new device and we're gonna start mining again, which should be a very interesting thing, because not only did you invest the time to mine in the London Bitcoin Bank project, we've achieved those original aims. Even though it's been microscopic, we're still showing that the project is working, because now this device will go back and provide use benefits. So what will happen is, again, it's fully experimentational. We don't know, you know, what is happening until we can get the data and we can analyze it, improve on it, change, exactly like how it was in 2013. So once this device mines, we're gonna very likely split it up into the different lists again, financial unplugging list. All lists very likely won't happen because we don't have a mining pool. The GPU teams can't mine because it's ineffective. Okay, and once that happens, then you know, what we're gonna do is very likely move everyone who participated into getting benefit from this miner. Yeah, but the time frame for when those benefits come, we do not know. You know, we need to make sure there is some form of profitability. As I explained, um, electric costs are higher than what we get back at this point. So we have to look at the various ways, which is why we'll extend to 3 month payments until we can factor it in. If it works, we'll move it to monthly payments, which I'm sure for everyone that's the ideal method. But at this time, we've penciled in a 3 month um, payments. Okay, so new members, I just spoke about that. We won't be accepting new members, but we will have a waiting list on the new website. You will be able to send your friends there. You will be able to go there, pardon me, and you will be able to add your name there. And in order of everyone adding their names, we will have a look in the future if we can accept new members. The London Bitcoin Bank project will be splitting off into several different areas. One of them is we're going to try to sell miners again. Another one is we're going to very likely start pools and do some testing with existing miners in the world. It will be a great way to get people into projects at the company, at the Tri-Million company, and in the London Bitcoin Bank project, always with the aim of financial unplugging, but um, we may not present our mining pools with financial unplugging in mind, um, uh, because we do not know how long this will take. Again, we're going to test all different ways. One of them that we may continue working with is boosts, so or all list, where people who mine, they will be able to get a benefit of getting boosts from this device or from other devices. It all depends on how we're going to work it. Again, we're going to factor it all in and find a way. We've found a way each time. I'm sure we're going to find a way. And I hope that we'll be able to move this project up, because so far we've been working so small, infinitesimal, and it's hard work. I'm sure everyone who's been part of the London Bitcoin Bank project knows that we've all had to put in a lot to make this project work. But for the first time, apart from when we've got the first devices and it provided boosts, it's going to be the first time where we can independently move forward to provide you the benefit. Yeah, and seeing how we can move forward with full and free financial unplugging. But that's a long time yet. Again, this is a 1,000-year project. It is a future view of humanity, exactly same as how Bitcoin is focused on stopping the giving out the what's its name main reward for each block mining, and keep it just at transaction fees done in a future date, in the long-term future. Again, the London Bitcoin Bank project is focused on the long-term future. Okay, I'm sorry if this has taken a bit of time, half an hour, 34 minutes. It's well gone long in, but we've spoken about some essential points. I will be having other videos. We will be putting new videos about the update, about the miner. You'll be able to hear the stats about the miner and how the project is progressing. Stay tuned on the Facebook page, stay tuned on the Twitter account. Again, search for the London Bitcoin Bank project, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, and it should come up. The new domain, it will also be brought up, and you'll hear more soon about the London Bitcoin Bank project. But I'm so glad to be speaking to you again with our new miner. This is humanity. This is all of us, and this is how the process works. Everyone wants to mine for themselves and all this and that. This is for all of you. So I look forward to moving the project forward, and look forward to seeing more and more people become financially unplugged and see the day when we can start doing financial unplugging. Yeah, it is quite amazing to see devices like this to be able to solve the economic problems of the world and provide a level of freedom for all of humanity. But it's a long project. It's not just us, as you know, so many people, including everyone in the London Bitcoin Bank project, people in the London Bitcoin Bank project who has gone on to do other projects outside of mining, such as building websites, informational websites, new services, things like that. So the London Bitcoin Bank project can work in the future. So if you're listening to this, when the website's up, stay tuned, go join it, add your name there. If you're part of it, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated, and let's move this project forward. I look forward to the future with the London Bitcoin Bank project, to all our success in the London Bitcoin Bank project. Take care, everyone. Create a great day.